I don't know how many times I've filmed this video and deleted it, or filmed it and just stopped halfway through and just said it's not working. But it's been quite a few times. Because this is not a subject that I feel super confident in, because I'm not an expert and I'm not a doctor, and I'm not here to diagnose anyone or to make anyone feel like I know everything, because I don't. I'm just here to talk about my experience. So, welcome to the most fun video ever. I've had to force myself to sit here and film. Today I was making excuses, as I do all the time, on why I wasn't gonna film and why I was just gonna put it off and I was gonna wait until a better time or when I had my thoughts collected. But honestly, I just need to just put it all out there and just like have it be what it is, and that's it. So that's what I'm doing, I guess. Depression really, it does present itself in different ways for everyone, and everyone has different ways of coping with it and different ways of managing it. And it's not to say that anyone needs to follow any of the things that I do or say, I guess. It's just to talk kind of about my story with it, or to show you a little of my story with it and have that just be what it is. My dogs are joining me. I've suffered with anxiety for most of my life. I wasn't the cool kid or very smart or crazy talented in any way. So I dealt with a lot of self-esteem issues, and I had a lot of anxiety. I've had panic attacks for quite some time, and that's a whole other thing. I mean, for those who have experienced a panic attack, it's probably one of the harder things to explain, right up there with depression. It's being kind of a spell of my depression, which is the best way I feel like I can describe it. It's not that I sit around and, for me, this is completely how this is for me. I don't know how it is for everyone else, but this is how it is for me. I go through periods of just blankness, I guess, is the best way to describe it. It's just like not something that you can put into words, really. The best that I can do is to say that it makes you feel very alone, even if you aren't. It makes you feel very kind of defeated, like what's the point, what's the purpose, what's going on, and does it really matter what I think about it, or my experience with it? Like, does anything really matter? And you get very lonely, and you stop really caring about a lot of stuff. You become complacent in a lot of the things that you do day to day, and you don't really care about your hobbies. You don't really care about anything, to be honest. Like, and I say you, when I'm saying you don't do those things, I'm just saying, like, for me, that's how I feel. I feel very isolated. I feel very tense. I feel anxious, of course. So I don't want to leave my house, and I don't want to see anyone, and I don't want anyone to see me, and I don't want to talk to anyone. And I've had some, as of late, have had some really interesting health problems, and it really affected me pretty badly. And I think after this last breakdown that I had, I decided it was time to do something like this, I guess, to put myself out there a little bit more. I feel like it helps me to explain a little bit. So here I am. I don't feel so bad right now, and I'm trying my best to not push aside the way that I feel and to manage the way that I feel rather than burying it down deep, because every time that happens, it eventually leads to me breaking into pieces. So trying to not do that anymore, or as little as possible. I do take antidepressants, so spoiler, I don't think they're the ones for me. That's a thing to know about depression, is that just because you take an antidepressant, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work for you. Every person is different, and the reaction to specific medications is different, and I don't think this is the one for me. It began to scare me, I guess. It never really scared me before. I didn't really think about it. I just kind of thought, you know, I'm one of however many people in the world who deal with these kinds of things. Like, I'm not special. I'm not any different than anyone else. So I never really worried about it. But recently, I kind of got a little shocked by myself, I guess. My thoughts on death have changed a lot. And I think recently when I realized that I was no longer scared of it, and it's not that I accepted it, I guess, well, maybe, I don't know. It's not that I want it. It's not that I would like to go at any point in the near future at all. It's definitely not like that at all. But it's more just like not being scared of it happening. So, you know, for a long time I considered, you know, what happens when you die and how scary that must be, and what if you don't get to accomplish or do the things that you want to do, and that's terrifying a little bit. And then I just stopped caring and stopped being scared, and kind of started seeing the positives in it, I guess you could say. That sounds really bad, but it's true. The release of emotion, the release of stress, the release of pressure, the release of everything just seemed so peaceful. And yeah, so that's probably not super healthy, but I don't think it's so unhealthy either. I think it's good to realize that I don't want to end my life, and I'm not going to hurt myself to do that at all. But I think it's kind of nice to be not fearful of it. I'm not fearful anymore. I can't decide, though, if that's normal for someone who's like 26 years old, or if that's supposed to come like later in life when death is actually approaching for the most part. But I think it's kind of good, because a lot of my anxiety can wrap around the idea of, you know, the fear of something happening, or the fear of dying, or the fear of, I mean, even in situations that you wouldn't die in, my anxiety tells me that death is happening. So, yeah, I don't know. I haven't decided, but I am talking to a counselor. I am on medication, and it's a process, as most people probably know. It's really hard to explain how it feels. And I think the best advice I can give to people who are loved ones, I actually saw a tweet from Chance the Rapper today, which was weird, that just basically said that if you have anyone in your life who suffers from a mental illness of any kind, just realize that your expectations and their actual, you know, healing and growth, they're very different things. And if you realize that and you understand and accept that, just know that they need support and they need love, and you can't push them to be better, because they've been trying to push themselves to be better, and it just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. So just try to be as supportive as possible is the best advice I can give. And I know that it's frustrating. I know that it's hard, and if anyone in your life is dealing with a mental illness, they need you now more than ever, and just be there for them, and try to understand that it's already really, really difficult to describe and to deal with being themselves. So it's just very lonely and hard. And if you're dealing with something, I think that you should talk to somebody, because you're already so alone, and even if you have people around you, you're still gonna feel alone, and don't let yourself be alone, because that's when it really gets hard. I have filmed a few different videos of me kind of in the moment of either anxiety or depression, or a mixture of the two. And they're very personal and very raw, and very in the moment is the best way to describe it. These videos are older, they're not super recent, but it's kind of been me just trying to capture what it's like, so you can get an idea of kind of the headspace of somebody going through any of that, where it's just irrational and very difficult. And it's not, just know that it's not that you don't understand that it's irrational, or that you don't understand that it's emotional, but it's just that your brain plays so many tricks on you, and it can actually make you feel and think these ways. So I thought I'd give you a little taste of that. Here's some fun clips of me going through just some really hard times, and please just know that it's me just trying to relate to you guys and have you relate to me, and just to know, like, if you're going through stuff, if it's hard for you right now, or if it's ever been hard for you, that you're not alone in that. And it's not that I could ever understand anyone else's pain or anyone else's struggle, but I hope that my struggle and my pain maybe can relate to other people, and I hope this helps. And if it doesn't, then I'm sorry that I just made the most depressing video of your life, but the intention there is just to help in any way that I can. And also, I guess that's it. It feels kind of nice to talk about, I guess. Just not knowing where it's gonna go, who it's gonna reach. Maybe it won't reach anybody, I don't know. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, and thanks for being you. And that's all that there really is. I already turned off my light, but I just wanted to add really fast that I'm one of those people who gets told all the time that I'm strong and I'm brave and whatever else. And while that is so wonderful and I appreciate it so much, I just need everyone to know who goes through any of the things that I've just talked about, that it's okay to be weak, and it's okay to need other people. And even though you may be considered someone who's extremely strong, you can't be strong forever, and you can't be everyone's strength. So just know that. I like to preach better than I practice, so I just thought that was important. And I don't know. So that's it. Okay, bye. It's important that I'm honest with myself. It's important that I'm honest in general if I want to move forward, and I just can't be silent about it anymore. I can't pretend like it doesn't exist. I can't pretend like I didn't go through something. I can't do that. I just can't. I feel I try really hard to be a good person, do my best, but it's just really hard to feel like you're doing it all alone. Like, I can't, I can't feel the way that I do and also be so alone. If you try to be a good person, shouldn't people want to be if someone was here, what would they even do, you know? You know, when you're a kid and you have all these like ideas of what being an adult is gonna be like, and parents always tell you that growing up is hard and the real world is a lot harder than you think it's gonna be. But you just can't wait. You can't wait to have a real job and fall in love and have kids and have a family of your own and travel and explore and be free. Growing up is hard. Being an adult is hard. And complicated and messy and screwed up, and someone gets hurt. And having your heart broken is like indescribable. Your soul hurts, which and if you feel alone when they're gone and isolated in your feelings, that's the worst feeling. You never know when it's gonna get better. Attempting to have your stuff together. Gotta deal with all the empty. On top of everything else, it's really painful. Because if you're not okay and you don't put that out there into the world, then you're different and you need help. And I just don't know what to do anymore. I just want it to be enough. I just want to be enough.